mobile. That's the benefit.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Perks of
Where's
being
the hot
home.
chicken from?
There's a place, I live up on the north side of Chicago, like Damon and Western, and there's a place called Budlong's. It's on like Western and Lawrence. There's a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
They're
good.
dope. It's awesome chicken. But I usually get like not the classic hot, but the one step above it.
Yeah.
And that one just fucks me up. So I was just like, I guess I'll go the one below. And I think that's still going to fuck me up, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, hot chicken's where it's at. And Budlong's, man, it's stuff addicting. Because they've got a hobby where I work. And it's a battle every day not to go get it,
Oh, dude. Hell yeah.
It's so
I
good.
would be getting it every day if I worked right by there. I live right by there, so.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Bill, did the song kick off?
Yeah. So this has been recorded.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Oh, really?
You've been recording?
Yeah, I had it in kind of low because I think we kind of blasted the eardrums of the Opme guys last week.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh, yeah,
well, I'm getting
quiet.
high anyway, so
Well,
that
that's
could be
fine.
it too.
But welcome. It's our first episode of this new thing we're doing. I guess we're calling it Freestyle, right? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, freestyle, free for all,
And and our guest today is Sky. Little backstory: former bandmate of mine from my first band in high school.
What was the band called?
He was a drummer. First, it was called Self-Infliction, and then turned into Advent Wrath.
Turned into Advent Wrath. Yeah, it was awesome.
Fuck yeah. Those are some heavy ass
Pretty
names.
sick.
I was thinking about that, Bill, man. Like, we were like hanging out in the library at Fenwick High School before we started jamming. And then, like, started,
nice.
After that. Because we met through, like, did we meet through Mike Braun?
Yeah, because I had some classes with him, and obviously, it gets brought up like, oh, what music do you listen to? There was a lot of similar tastes, and yeah, he had already been in the band with you and Jose. Did I replace a bass player, or did you guys not have a bass player?
So we had a bass player. We had this dude Juan, who was, I think he went to join like the Marines or something like that. He was a few years older than me.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was awesome, but it was like, I mean, to me, when we were in bands, it's like you get a bass player and they just kind of like were in the background, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like when we met you, man, because you were playing bass, Bill was like a whole other planet, dude. Like that just
nice
didn't exist at the time. It was like,
oh, okay. So you were playing bass in these bands?
Yeah, because I started out as a bass player.
Oh, I know.
People forget.
I know, and I don't know at the same time. Yeah.
Dude, everybody
cool.
had Fender bass. But Bill, what did you have, like a Warwick? You had that wood that like
the old thumb bass.
Oh, dude, hell yeah! Coming in hot on the Warwick, dude. Fuck a Fender, man.
Dude, it was like you met Bill playing bass. It was a whole different level. Like, and at the time, it was like because you could play Mudvayne,
right? Which was mind blowing for so many people.
Yeah.
And now there's kids like half my age just like shredding the bass. I'm like, oh, all right, that's cool. Really put me in my place awesome. Now.
Dude, that was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
It was crazy. But yeah. So it's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Thanks for coming,
awesome.
man. Yeah, cool. We have a pretty diverse round of picks today.
Yeah, it was great. Sky hit me up because he heard the episode where you were talking about Morbid Angel. And that was a big band that he liked. Oh,
yeah, dude.
You still listen to them?
I do. Well, okay, so quick backstory. First, like, real concert I ever went to, I was in 8th grade, and my brother took me to the Rosemont Horizon, now the Allstate Arena.
Fuck yeah.
It was
nice.
Oh, yeah, it was Pantera's Reinventing the Steel Tour.
Oh, shit! Damn! That's awesome.
Slayer, Static X, Morbid Angel.
Oh, yeah.
Straight, like, for some reason.
Yeah.
Wow.
Eddie and Gabe were at that.
Oh, dude, that was like...
Probably a ton of people at that one, yeah.
So, like, 3 events occurred there. One, it was my first intro to Morbid Angel. And there was a dude me who was, like, the most 80s metal dude ever. Jean jacket, like cut off orange jean jacket with a Morbid Angel patch on the back, like no shit.
Nice.
whole set, he's just screaming, "Angel of Disease! Angel of Disease!" the whole time. And just like going nuts. So Morbid Angel comes out, and they've got, like, those dudes had the longest hair I've ever seen in my whole life, right? Down at their waist, and they've got fans blowing, so it's just behind them the whole time.
Yeah, they still do that, like now.
I didn't see them live in a long ass time, man. But they were.
I caught them a couple of years ago at Metro, actually.
Whoa, okay. Sweet.
Yeah, they headlined the Metro. It was really sick.
Yeah. Awesome. Dude, they tear, and like Gateways was just like, that album was my
best one. It's the best one, and it's my favorite, dude. That album is unstoppable.
Unbelievable. And like Pete Sandoval on that was just like out of control.
Oh yeah, dude, it's nuts. Actually, that show I saw them at, not to talk about Morbid Angel for too long, but that show at the Metro was when they just got Steve Tucker back in the band, so they were only playing like Formula shit and Gateway shit. So it was just like, oh, this is like everything I've always wanted to see by this band. Yeah, it was awesome, and they still had the fans blowing. I mean, granted, Pete's not in the band anymore, and they have another, like a different guitar player. Trey's still in the band, but their other guitar player's new. I don't even know that dude's name, but it was sick either way.
So isn't Pete like a born again Christian now or something like that?
Pete is, it's weird shit.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Yeah, especially considering like the shit that band has said, like, and done. It's just kind of like, what's the point, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they fell off though after. I felt like, well, Heretic was okay. I kind of about Heretic, but everything after Heretic was kind of like, that was a kind of a tank.
Well, yeah, they did that one album where David Vincent came back and it was like doo-doo, and then they did. I actually do like the new record with Steve back on vocals. It's not like the most mind-blowing thing, but there's some cool songs on it for sure. It's at least a step in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. But that was like, I mean, think about being an 8th grade kid going to see Morbid Angel. And like,
yeah, that's insane, especially for one of your first shows. Like, my first show was Good Charlotte, dude. Like,
that's a good
I was
introductory.
10, though. I was in 4th grade.
Oh, that's legit. Well, technically, my first show was the Bodines. My dad was like,
nice.
You guys know the Bodines? Yeah.
Yeah, vaguely, but yeah.
My dad was a huge Bodines fan, and so that was kind of my first show. I think we saw the Bodines at like Soldier Field after a soccer game or something like that.
Awesome.
But yeah, like, I'm telling you, Morbid Angel, Pantera, Slayer, it was just like super sick. And,
yeah, that had to be an amazing show.
And I remember the other thing, so beyond the Angel Disease guy, we had a dude next to us at that show who the whole time just like couldn't contain himself. We were like, you guys know the Arcade Arena, so like they set up, we're like off to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude is just totally jacked. And like, I think it was 2 songs into Slayer. I feel like they opened with Rain and Blood. And then I can't remember what they played right after, but he just lost his mind, rips his shirt off, and just ran down into the pit, like blue security guards and everything.
Wow.
This is metal, man. This is metal.
Nice. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
So metal. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well,
sweet. So should we get started? What's the first one we're doing?
Talking Pantera,
right?
Yeah. That's a good segue.
Yeah, so your pick.
Yeah. So how does this flow? I heard you guys kind of chatting last time. Just want to talk a little bit about why pick it, what the story is there.
Yeah. What do you dig about the record? What made
it?
you want to pick it? And
So I was thinking about this one for a little bit because the amount of metal albums that come up in life, there's like only one that every time I'm just like, oh my god, that was such a transformative album. Vulgar Display of Power, man, is just crazy. So I grew up like hardcore to the blues, and my first metal exposure was all Metallica. Like I was a hardcore Metallica dude, you know. Lars Ulrich was like the guy. I like.
Oh, hell yeah!
I had like Remo drum heads because Lars did. So I tried like the damn like Easton metal sticks because he tried those. You know, like
those A heads or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, totally.
I forgot about those sticks.
Totally. Like all that stuff because of Lars, but like right around early high school, I got introduced to Pantera. It was Vulgar Display of Power. It was
okay.
And dude, this album, I just feel like there was not a single miss on that whole album, and I feel like they don't miss again on any song until maybe a couple on Reinventing the Steel.
I would agree, 100%, dude.
Reinventing the Steel is the only album I owned by Pantera. And I feel
Really?
and I feel like people give me so much shit for it. Really? I feel like a lot of people didn't like it.
I love that record.
Yeah.
Dude, they were so tumultuous though, man, because it was like, I mean, right after Vulgar was Great Southern Trendkill, right? And like by Great Southern Trendkill,
was it Far Beyond Driven?
I can't remember if it was.
I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure Vulgar, Far Beyond Driven, then Great Southern Trendkill, then Reinventing the Steel. I think.
Yeah, because like Great Southern Trendkill, I heard they recorded that like completely like in separate locations because they were fighting over like Phil's heroin addiction.
Yeah, that
sounds about right.
True.
Yeah. So like Vulgar was like top of the top, man, in so many ways for those guys, and like obviously. Like there's probably not a metalhead in the world who wouldn't say that Walk wasn't one of the most important songs in there. Like,
oh yeah,
that's the metal anthem.
Well,
yeah, but like Bill, were you a big Pantera guy? Because I feel like you came more from like Deftones and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was more in that realm of like the alternative rock, and Pantera was never a band that I was totally into, but they were a band that if I was at a bar or at a show and like a Pantera song comes on, you know it right away, and it was always good. I never minded it. I wasn't like, oh fuck Pantera, like I'm like fuck yeah, song rules. Like, and it's funny, like I've never really seeked out the band other than to buy that one record, Reinventing the Steel, which I believe like somehow like either somebody took it or it fell out of my fucking car after like having it for like a month, and I was like, I'm good. I'm not gonna buy it again. And that's my whole Pantera legacy right there. But
they were like, yeah, go ahead.
But it's funny because you're right though. Like anybody remotely into hard rock or metal, like Pantera, they know it. It'd be impossible to find somebody who doesn't know them, which is pretty impressive for a band like that, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, especially when you think that they came from a glam rock root.
Right. Yeah.
Which
the
is
hair
so
metal.
crazy. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but I know Pantera's got like 4 records before Cowboys from Hell that are like glam records.
Is
around that.
Is Phil on those?
Phil's on like one of them. I think he's on the last one, and I'm pretty sure it's called Power Metal. But it's not like Power Metal, but it's called Power Metal. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Power metal, right?
Yeah, I love Pantera, man. They were like very, very formative for me when I was like really getting into metal, especially like playing metal on drums. Because before I listened to metal, I liked some punk stuff and some alternative rock stuff, and that kind of led me into bands like System of a Down and Limp Bizkit and Disturbed, who were on Q101 all the time.
Speaking my language.
You know, then that led me into more metal stuff like Black Sabbath and Metallica, which got me. And then Pantera was kind of the band that got me more into like the heavier side of things, like death metal. They're not a death metal band, but it was like them. And then I was into like Black Dahlia and Nile and Behemoth. But Pantera was like a big deal for me, especially like when I was in middle school and early high school. Like I had the Rest in Peace Dime like tribute shirt. I had everything. My dad would take me to Rolling Stones to get all the CDs, and they were always like these weird, like imported from Mexico CDs, but they were super cheap. It was like $5. I'm pretty sure I still have some of them, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, they were a huge ass deal. I loved them, and my favorite album of them was always Far Beyond Driven. But I love Vulgar. I love Cowboys from Hell. I mean, pretty much I like every record that they've done. I've enjoyed it to a certain extent, but yeah, I mean, I think. When I think of Vulgar Display of Power, it's like it's one of those iconic metal albums, like one of the most iconic metal albums of all time. Like it's a classic, and you know, listening to it now, I listened to it like in front to back twice this week, and it was just like wow, like just took me on such a nostalgia trip, but also just like listening to them now and like where I'm at now is compared to where I was then. It's just like wow, these songs feel so like. It's great, like old, but not at the same time. Super sick. It's a great album.
I could pick them back up like no problem. And I followed through Pantera for a long time, man. Like we went and saw. I remember like seeing Phil's band Superjoint Ritual. Like after starting to go south a little bit. You know, obviously Down. I mean, actually, I think Down's trying to tour again.
Yeah,
they were supposed to this year, but COVID kind of blew it up.
Yeah. And
then, like, I mean, they were just it totally changed everything in my head with metal because I was, you know, Metallica. You know, they're that thrash metal that everybody gets into. I feel like they're a gateway band into metal, and I still love Metallica.
Yeah.
Your cat in the background. Yeah. But like Pantera, it's just the whole thing, man. And it had to be those glam rock roots because like even Dimebag's guitars, those like guitars he would play all the time.
Yeah.
The colored beards and like Vinnie Paul, you got Phil Anselmo, and then Rex Brown. And like who's Rex?
Yeah.
But like you had these three mega personalities in that. Like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, dude, the Pantera Behind the Music is I would say is like the best Behind the Music episode. It's great.
Totally.
It's fucking nuts. Like I remember watching that so much when I was younger, like all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually was just trying to find it the other day because actually listening to some Pantera albums because I've now gone back.
Oh, nice.
This last week has basically been like the whole discography, you know, like break them all.
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
You know? But I was trying to find that. I think it's on YouTube somewhere, but I didn't find it. I didn't get a chance to watch it this week, but so good.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it.
And it just sucks because like now Phil's like, is he like a Nazi now or whatever the heck he's doing? And
that seemed to like come and go pretty quick. Like it popped up.
It did.
What's his name from Machine Head calls him out, and it seemed to be like. Yeah. Let's just say Phil did this at a perfect time because it seems like it was like right before everybody was just gunning after people that did stuff like that. And I mean his career's still going. Nobody really talks about it like other than just people like us, like other dudes into metal, because it's just I mean Phil's an iconic person, so obviously seeing that little bit of tarnish on there, we all know about it. There's no way we're not going to know about that.
Yeah, but dude's awesome, but it also sucks because he's like the downfall of Pantera in so many ways.
Right.
You know, getting into heroin, like getting into the drugs hard, man, and it just starts to take out after that. Because like I remember seeing him when we saw him with Superjoint Ritual, and that was a show I'll never forget. The band Speed Dealer opened, and everybody was heckling Speed Dealer at the House of Blues. And the lead singer from Speed Dealer like points to some heckler in the crowd. And he says, "You guys see that man? Somebody fucking kill that man!" And then they like started the song. Nobody did anything. Everybody's just like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Hell yeah!
But like at Superjoint Ritual, man, people were literally like throwing joints onto the stage, and Phil's picking them up, smoking joints, playing the show. Hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so funny. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, good times, man. But yeah, I mean, like, so the song I picked off of it, I feel like there's so many that are huge. You know, like I mentioned, Walk already. But I just feel like with Pantera, the song Hollow in particular is so embodying of who they are, right? Because you've got
definitely.
They can do that melody. They can groove. You know, at the time, Phil could sing before his voice started to kind of, you know, started to fade a little bit.
Yeah,
he could sing, and they could just like turn it hard from just this. You know, it's almost wrong to call it a ballad in ways, but like,
yeah,
you know, be in this like ballad mentality, and then just fucking tear it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instantly, just tear it up, and it's like. That's Pantera.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, to me, I think the Hollowed is like vulgar display of powers, like Cemetery Gates in a way, because it's like ballady, but like they are also ripping. And yeah, Phil, it's like it's crazy to hear Phil sound like that, and like listen to him talk now. He sounds like a human cigarette box. Yeah, it's just like okay, dude, but yeah, and it's like wow, I forgot that like. He really could sing on this record, which is cool, you know?
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, like, he did that album you mentioned, Power Metal. They're like transition out of glam rock.
Yeah.
And like, if you ever listen to any of the stuff off there, the dude's got pipes to do glam rock. Like, he could have done that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like he only got his metal voice later in life, almost. You know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, you douse your throat in enough cigarettes and whiskey.
Southern Friendkill, he's practically screaming.
Yeah.
You know, like the last couple records, he's practically like just screaming straight up, and there's barely any singing. But I love that, like, because it's super aggressive, and I always think that Pantera just got heavier and heavier and heavier with each record. Like, Far Beyond Driven was just like straight into like the trailer park, like beat down parts and shit like that. And like Great Southern Treadkill was like faster and weirder and like heavier and darker, and Reinventing the Steel is just like insane. I don't know. There's just such a cool band, and like what a really cool trajectory that like they went from being like a glam band, like probably so many that were already around at the time, to doing something completely original at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and shit, there's bands like today that are coming out doing like these weird Pantera ripoffs. Like I Am from Texas, they have like, there's a huge Pantera influence in their sound, and like a ton of other bands. It's crazy to hear it like come full circle again.
I mean,
and they're not even one of the big four, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
not a part of that.
I don't think they were. No, yeah.
No, that was just...
because I guess they weren't considered thrash, but
right.
I don't know. I think I like Pantera probably more than any big four band.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just because I grew up on so much Metallica stuff.
Yeah, it's hard. That's the hard one.
I got a lot of heart for Metallica. Like every time they come in town, I've already pre-ordered S&M 2. I won't lie to you.
Nice. Yeah. Hell
awesome.
Yeah.
Can't lie about that. But yeah, so, but otherwise, like, you know, I'm not as big into I was never as big into Anthrax. I was pretty big into Slayer. I dug them.
Oh yeah.
And I was a big Megadeth guy. I played with a lot of guys that were big Megadeth guys, but I wasn't as big into Megadeth.
Sure, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like when I was getting into metal when I was younger, the bigger bands were like, it was like, I remember I saw Avenged Sevenfold at some show when I was way younger, and they covered Walk like in their set, and then I was like, oh, you know, it's Pantera. They obviously have a huge influence over so many bands now, and it's crazy just because, like, I feel like Walk's got to be their biggest song. I think it's their top streamed on Spotify.
I would assume that. Or something like it's got to be.
I think so. It's one of them. But, like, you know, that you have This Love, which is another crazy song.
That's far and away my favorite Pantera song, easily.
Really?
Yeah, This Love. That song rules because it just has, like, that great breakdown in the middle. And then it goes even
the sickest part,
and then it goes even slower at the end. And it's just like, this is the best. This is the best thing ever.
So heavy,
it's
dude.
So good.
Yeah, the Acacia Strain better like pay their career to like that song, dude.
But it's funny listening to this album. You can like cherry pick every part and pick a band that took that part, like from like this album, probably any Pantera song really, and just be like, yep, this band took this part, did that. This band took that part. Like so many, and it's funny because like, you know, when this came out at the time, hearing it, there weren't that many bands. You know, it was just Pantera. But then now, having heard so many bands, you're like, oh yeah, everybody rips this fucking band off. Like everybody.
Yeah, and it's okay because they're fucking awesome. You know. And it's in everybody's like bloodstream. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and it's so good. And the other one that I was reminded of, I'd completely forgotten about until I pulled the album out and was listening to it again, is even songs like Regular People, which is a deep track, but like that's an earworm and a half, man. Like,
that song's funny too. I like the lyrics in that one because Phil sounds he's like a street preacher, or he calls people a streetwise son of a bitch. It's like, whoa. All right, man. Yeah, you know what? My favorite song on the album is actually By Demons Be Driven. I love that song.
Oh, okay.
I think it's right before Hollow, the second to last song, and it's super heavy.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like that's kind of that was sort of the taste of what like Far Beyond Driven started to, you know, sound like. I mean, the singles off that album were so catchy still too, but they were just like super heavy. Man, that record's so sick.
It's so good, and it is. I mean, it is crazy. I mean, I know I already said it, so it's sort of lame to repeat it. But seriously, I feel like Cowboys was awesome, right?
Yeah.
But like I felt like once they hit Vulgar, nothing misses. Like their next 3 albums, end to end, every freaking track is flawless, man. Like I would listen to every single one without question, no skipping. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I mean,
how many bands do that?
Not a lot, not a ton anymore, man. I mean, that's crazy when you have a band like Pantera where it's like their whole legacy is awesome. Like, and it's like they managed to still keep things like fresh with each record and by introducing these like new elements to their sounds. And it's like, yeah, if you put on like, I bet if you put on Cowboys from Hell, like to someone who had never heard Pantera before, and then you put on Reinventing the Steel, I would be hard pressed to think that they could tell that it's the exact same band.
Totally.
Like, you know, because it's so different, but it's like, it just makes sense. But you're right. Like every song, awesome. Just groovy, nasty. It's good shit.
Yeah. What killed me about it is like you were mentioning, Jason, the nostalgia, man. And like I like put this album on. I instantly remember like walking through like Brookfield, Illinois at night with a like a handheld CD player.
Hell yeah.
Trying to put my hands pocket so it wouldn't skip, you know?
Yeah.
And like just totally rocking, feeling like I was the most, like the biggest badass in town.
Dude, hell yeah.
11 o'clock at night, I'm walking home from my buddy's house, you know? And just blasting Pantera walking through the street.
Yeah.
I was instantly back there with this album when you pulled this album.
That's awesome.
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, I used to listen to it in the hallways of high school. Like I'd put in my headphones because I had a CD player too with skip protection. And no, you know what? But by that time though, I was using an iPod for sure. So I was probably using some type of iPod, and like I remember listening to that song "People" in like the hallways and being like, "Damn, I'm so fucking tough just listening to this song." And I definitely wasn't, but yeah, it's a very, very empowering feeling for sure.
Yeah. Where'd you go to high school at?
I went to OPRF. I lived in Oak Park at the time. So I went to OPRF.
He's our rivalry.
Yeah.
Wow, dang! Because I was going to say, like, what high school? Well, could we listen to headphones? I mean, I feel like headphones weren't as big of a thing when we were in high school.
I don't remember anybody ever rocking headphones. I feel like God doesn't like headphones, so they'd probably not let us.
Yeah, public school, it was easier to get away with that shit. And I mean, we weren't supposed to have it, but I would listen to it while I was walking in between classes, which was like 5 minutes. But it's just like, I don't give a shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I would do it all the time. I mean, you just had to put it away before your class, but.
Right, yeah.
God doesn't like headphones.
yeah, dude.
Dude, at Fenwick, they called detention jug. You remember that? Justice under God. Yeah.
Justice under God?
Yep. Yeah, that was jug.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that I don't understand the concept of justice under.
That's just their version of like detention, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you ever get jug?
God's giving you justice.
No.
You never got
jug. Did you?
I got it once, but I never went because nobody took my name down. They're like, I forgot my blazer like one fucking time, and they're like, you got to go sit downstairs with all the kids without blazers. You all have jug. Come after school. And John Artis, of all people, the con man that he is, and I love him for it. He's like, dude, they didn't take your name down, right? I was like, no. He goes, you don't have to go. And I was like, yeah, if he said so, why not? And yeah, I didn't go, and nobody knew, and got away with it. It was a perfect crime.
Dude, fuck yeah, man. That's awesome. I got a bunch of detentions.
Did you?
Yeah, oh yeah. I got a bunch. Yeah, detentions and like in middle school and high school. A lot in middle school though.
Really?
Like, also a lot.
That's
I was just do stupid shit. I would show up late to class all the time, like, or like, I don't know. I would ditch class, ditch gym.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
You never even did like drugs or anything in high school or drink. What were you doing?
I was just like, I don't know, not giving a shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I definitely got, I don't know. We would like throw food and shit and do stuff like that.
Man, I was
so
I was always one of those kids who like I felt like I got into a lot of trouble, but I always got away with it.
Managed to get away,
which is like probably not good. Like growing up later, but like I felt like by the time I got to college, man, like I would meet these other kids who they were on campus for the first time, and they had never partied before, and I'm like, man, we used to hit up or park when I was in high school, and so by the time I got to college, it was kind of like old hat in a way. But,
right. You're already broken in. Yeah.
Like, my parents thought I was the best kid. Like I had good grades, everything was solid. And meanwhile, I'm like going to party at, with Bill and friends in Forest Park.
Yeah, right.
Dude, hell yeah.
Watching like movies in John's backyard.
Oh yeah.
Playing video games on the projector.
Oh
in the
hell
backyard.
yeah.
Ridiculous. But yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
So Bill, do you play with anybody that we jammed with or kind of ran around with back then?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so, actually. I think a lot of people we've been playing with back then just don't do it anymore. A lot of them gotten out, which is good. Especially now.
With this time?
Yeah.
One of those.
I'm trying to think. That's a good question. There's got to be somebody. I don't know, because like nowadays when I run into people, they know me from the band afterward, and usually they're like, "Oh, you were in Capsize," and I was like, "Yeah, that was that bad." But yeah, I mean that was so long ago now too. That no, I don't think so. Well, if anybody's listening and they do know me from that day, let me know.
Yeah, sound off in the comments, please.
Yeah.
All right, so next. Who's next? Is it you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off.
It's all right.
Are
we done with the Pantera?
No, we can keep talking about it.
I don't know, anything you guys want to add?
Fuck. Listen to this record if you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where like there's so much that's been said about it. It's not like we need to analyze it up and down. You know?
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
exactly.
Sure. It's a record everybody knows, and it's more like fun to bring it back out and just remember the other things that were going on, or like the feeling it brings to you, because it's just one of those that it just sticks with you, man. Like no matter what.
Absolutely.
We released in 92.
Yeah, that is like crazy.
I was not even 1 year old.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Yeah, isn't that fucking insane?
You were months old. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my god.
Dude. And you know what? I love listening to this too, because I remember like reading rumors on the internet where people were like, oh yeah, the way that Vinnie Paul got his kick to sound so clicky on this record was that he taped quarters to like his bass drum heads and to like his beaters, so it had like an extra click to it or something like that. And I was like, wow, that's weird. I still to this day I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah.
I mean, Vinnie Paul was the guy, dude. He had like all the fucking grooves.
Yeah, dude, he was just like insane. And I've heard that like he was awesome to tour with too.
He is, dude.
Yeah.
He was like a super awesome dude. I've had friends that I've worked for that they're like, it's the shit, man. Like anytime you're on tour with like Vinny, he's like got a grill with him. He busts out the grill whenever he can, and he'll just grill up food for like everybody in the camp. I was like, that's the shit, man. The dude just loved to hang out. That was like his whole thing, and just have some beers, drink some booze, and eat some food and play a show. You know? He was a lot of people had nothing but good things to say about that guy.
Yeah, both Dime and Vinny, man, like those guys were epic to metal. And like obviously, like I mean, you mentioned the Rest in Peace Dime shirt you've got. And
oh yeah,
it was heartbreaking. That was like so heartbreaking for like just unbelievable. Some nut, and like I don't know, man. That was a big day, like for me, and just like in my metal career, and just life in general, man. Because those guys were such a big influence.
Oh yeah. Big shock.
So much. So many experiences, and then to just have them like wiped off like that in that type of situation.
Yeah. Well, did I ever tell you I went to that venue? I worked there once with Nonpoint.
Really?
Yeah,
Isn't
the
like
Ala
Columbus,
Rosa,
right?
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah.
Who was that meowing, dude?
That's Ripley. She's going nuts. But yeah, no, the Ala Rosa, it's interesting because, you know, obviously it has that history now of what happened. And going there, you realize that the way this happened seems like it could happen pretty easily because it's literally a door right behind the stage that you can walk right into from behind the venue that there is no security at. Like, even when we were there was no security. Like, anybody can walk in and out of this door. So the fact that some, you know, psychopath came in with a gun so easily is like not that surprising because of the way that place is set up. But yeah, it is what it is, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's just like, I mean, it's crazy to think about that, right? So you seeing it and knowing like it's so different, but there's so not a place for that in music that, like, why would it even cross your mind that that's something somebody would do?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Pretty crazy.
And band is like, it's they have such like it's like such the typical like tragedy is like what Pantera is. I feel, you know, because I feel like a lot of people conclude. I at least in my head, I feel like a lot of people conclude their demise with Dimebag passing away. But the thing is, a lot of people like will also forget, like, oh, he was touring with Damage Plan at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So Pantera's career was already shot because of and just that horrible, you know, divide between Phil and, you know, Vinnie Paul and Dime. And I think Rex went on to do Down with Phil. I think he was kind of cool with everybody.
I think so, yeah. Well, I know.
Yeah, it's just sad. Like, I know after Dime died, Vinnie and Phil never talked again. They never made up. They never reconciled. And, like, I know Phil always wanted to, and I think Vinnie was just too hurt by him. And, you know, not only that, but it didn't even get resolved, obviously, before Dimebag passed away. I can't imagine. It's just got to be, like, such an insane situation at the end.
Yeah, totally. And it's just, I mean, that changed so many things in, like, going to shows and just, like, what was going on at the time. Because, you know, I mean, that was around the time where some of the shootings that were happening now, is like crappy as it is, they feel so common in some ways, you know, where, like, that was so particularly jarring, you know. It was just, it just in the total spectrum of the country, the total spectrum of music, just everything at the time, like, that was brutal, man. And it just like, just ended what still could have been a lot of good career. Because I dug Damage Plan. Like, I liked Damage Plan for what it's worth. I know a lot of, like, Pantera hardcores were into them. I dug them. I was into it.
Right on.
Yeah, I never liked Damage Plan. I thought they were lame. But...
that part, Newfound Power, like, it'll just get stuck in your head all the time.
Yeah, at the time, when it was, like, new, I thought it was heavy as fuck. But I didn't know who Pantera was at the time. When Dimebag got shot. Yeah, I discovered Pantera after he had passed away. But I remember when it went down, I remember hearing about it on the radio, and it was just my parents talking about it. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that band, like we talked about, gents, like that's a big. Except Bill, though, like, Bill doesn't have the Pantera thing, and that, like, blows my mind that you got such, like, a metal background.
Dude, Bill doesn't got a lot of things.
I know,
man.
I'm a horrible.
That's why
person.
I'm excited to talk about this next record.
Well, before we do, I do have one anecdote about Pantera that's pretty funny. Like, so as I said, I've never been the biggest Pantera fan, but I do enjoy them. And so for the longest time on my pedal board, I have a whammy pedal, and then I have a Cowboys from Hell Dimebag Darrell's signature wah. And the reason why is, one, I like my whammy. I love the effect of that. It's awesome. Tom Morello is like a big
That's the
inspiration.
Camo, like, pedal, right?
But yeah, so the wah was the camo one, and I liked it just because of all the controls on it, and that was my main reason for buying it. It wasn't because I was like, sick, this was Dimebag, so I'm getting the same thing. So for fucking ever, every time the pedal board get brought out, people would notice those two pedals right away and be like, you must be like the biggest Pantera fan ever. And I'm like,
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
Feel
I'm not.
bad.
I just really like these effects. I'm so sorry. And just disappointing people show after show after show with that. I always felt so bad.
It's so funny.
Dude, he had like some gear because like Burt had a dime bag guitar
Fuck yeah.
that he used to, and I think he sold it to somebody that we know, but I don't remember. But like, I just remember like having a buddy who had a dime bag guitar because that thing was so iconic.
Oh
Yeah, the
Hell
Razorbacks, dude. My guitar player in high school, Nico, he had like, I remember like when we were like upgrading our gear to like actually try and play shows, and he was like, watch this, and he bought like the slime bumblebee Razorback and the Dean, and it's like it looked like it was like lime green and black stripes, and it was it's like the ugliest guitar now, but at the time we were just like, whoa,
it's like the sickest guitar at the time.
Sick. Yeah, we were just like, whoa, like it was like the holy grail, and it was just so sick. I mean, yeah, you can't deny it, like shit like that. It's like they have such an influence in so many different places.
Oh, and speaking of more Pantera gear, fun fact, original drummer for Roman Reigns, Joe Jans, still to this day rocks the Vinnie Paul snare, which is like one of the most insane snare drums ever. It's like the size of a trash can. It's so fucking big.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah. And it's got the snake skin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, not real snake skin, but I think it's like a snake
It's a
skin
print,
wrap
yeah.
on it. Yeah, it looks kind of goofy. That thing is
so
sick,
awesome. So yeah, you put that combination
dude,
of
that
like
snare sick.
like that.
Sky, have you ever played the Lars Ulrich snare, like the all steel like diamond plate snare?
So I have played it before, but I never had one. I never bought one.
Neither did I.
Never made that
Dude,
leap.
Yeah, those are sick though, dude. I kind of wish I had one now. Like no joke, I would use it.
You can get one through
That
Zounds?
thing weighs like that. I don't know if they're even in production anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think they are, but maybe I could check. I should check. I should get one, dude.
Diamond plating like look. That was like such a Metallica type look.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I would totally rock that too. I would buy that snare and like use it as my primary snare.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I would totally do that.
You gotta
That would be
track
such
one
a,
down
like,
now.
I might. I'm literally thinking about it and checking out Reverb when we're done.
Do it.
See if I can find one. Yeah.
Dude. Mars. What kind of kit do you play, Jason?
I have a Tama Superstar Hyperdrive kit, is what it's called. They don't make the Hyperdrives anymore, but it was kind of like their their 1500 like level kit, where it was like you're getting like their pretty mid-tier kit. So it's like a 10 and a 12 on top, and then I got a 16 on the bottom. I also have some other pieces for the kit that I like. I never really use them, but I've always thought about like different tom sizes. Like I have a 10, 12, 14, and then a 16, a 14, and then a 16 like rack tom, and then I know I have a 14 floor tom. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a sweet kit, but yeah, I'm actually going to be upgrading sometime soon. Nice. So yeah,
I played Tama too, although I had I think I had a Tama Rockstar. There was a Rockstar and the Swing Star, and I feel like the Swing Star was like the step up, and I probably had the Rockstar.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was red, and it was like so
nice.
Badass,
Yeah.
It was just like the coolest kit, man. And like I thought I was so awesome with my, once I got the rack, because when we were first jamming, Bill, I had like nothing. I had a pretty small kit. In fact, I might have even had the kit that I bought from that guy's like closet in Deerfield. Like my first literally like my first kit, I found a guy in the newspaper, and my dad drove me up to Deerfield. And
nice.
And like we go to this guy's house, massive house. We like walk in just the foyer of this house, and he just opens a closet, and he's got like all these drum kits just like broken down. And he's just like, "Oh yeah, you want another cymbal?" Just like takes one out, hands it to me. And I'm like, "Who is this guy?"
Wow.
$100 or $125. It was a no-name brand or whatever, but I had that thing for years, man. It was
That's
fun.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, Tama makes some great shit. I think they're underrated, man. Like,
I love Tama.
Yeah, they're great. They're handy. They last forever, and they sound great. Like, They're killer drums.
I sold my kit. This will be the sad moment. I sold my kit for payment on an apartment.
It's so very adult.
Like 6 months after college, I wanted to move out of my parents' house so bad, and I sold my kit for that apartment.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
So now what you have to do is you gotta get a drum kit, for your kids, but it's really for you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I've been looking at an electric kit for a long time.
There you go.
Dude, you should pull the trigger, man. There's some cool ones.
Hell yeah.
It's a big investment, but...
Yeah. But it'd be worth it, like, to play whenever, So...
Yeah? It'd be so sick.
Yeah.
If you do, I would recommend going with, like, Roland. Anything Roland.
Solid?
Yeah, they're the shit. They're solid. Like, their warranty is killer, and, like, their shit lasts forever.
Have you played one recently?
Yeah. I played on one of the newer line of V drums that they're about to drop, which is supposed to look more like an acoustic kit, but it's got the same like mesh heads.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love those things, man.
Yeah, I feel like the technology's probably gotten a lot better since I remember a whole bunch of years
ago.
They were just like rubber pieces before.
Yeah.
No good bounce or anything to them.
Yeah, these have like on some of them you can actually tighten the tension of the mesh head. Wow. So if you wanted to get more of like a feel out of it, you could. And there's like dynamic control and shit like that. It's insane what you can do on those things. Like there's metal bands that like track. Like, actually, have you ever heard of the band Periphery?
I have heard of them, but I haven't listened to them much. Yeah.
I was talking to I can't even remember who it was. I was talking to somebody about them literally a couple days ago. But like their first album, all the drums were recorded on a Roland V drums kit. Like going through like Superior Drummer or whatever software it was at the time. Yeah, there's bands.
Super artificial, or how does they actually sound on the recording?
I mean, it's all samples. So on the recording, it's pretty. You can tell it's pretty fake. I think, like, but I mean, it's just such a sign of the time. I think, where it's like so many bands of that style like had that like super program tone, but it wasn't bad. I don't think it's bad.
I'll have to check it out. And soon like, Bill will be playing like a Guitar Hero guitar, screw the strings. Yeah, dude. Like a digital guitar. Yeah, that would be fucking nuts. Yeah.
Wow.
Press the buttons.
Hell yeah.
So,
all right, Bill.
So yeah, moving along. So Death Cab, the reason why I brought this up, and I was telling you before we did this, there was one time you invited me and Tom over to your place, and so we come over there, and like it's just like not a crazy party, it's just a handful of us. We're all hanging out, and I just remember I think we were like in your bedroom or whatever, and Tom turns around and he's like, "What the fuck?" and like pulls out this Death Cab CD. He's like, "You listen to this?" And you're like, "Fuck yeah!" And we're like, "Oh, all right, cool." And like, cause I think I hadn't seen you for a little while because it was long after the band and stuff. And then it was also followed by one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard was somebody was like, "Yo, I got this week and I break it up," and you're like, "Yeah, but you gotta do it on the Big Mother Truckers cover." And I was like, "That's the best thing I ever heard. That's awesome."
The video game, Big Mother Truckers.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I remember that game.
One, you own that game, which is awesome, and two, you were able to say that sentence, which is great.
Oh yeah, cool. It was a special time. It was real special. I was curious what that story was because that had to be like my senior year of high school then. Because I think we probably broke up the band in like my junior year of high school, maybe like right as you were starting Triton.
I think so.
I don't remember exactly.
It was before I went to college, I think, because Rick was with us for like a minute. And then he went off to college, and I hadn't seen him for a while until he came back. So, yeah, I had to have been my senior year, or maybe it was when I was in college. I can't remember. Yeah.
I mean, so the, like, genesis of that story even existing is one. My parents used to leave my brother and I home alone for 2 weeks at a time every summer, and they would go on vacation to Michigan. Why? Why would you ever do
the
that?
Best.
I have two children now. I'll never do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you know, dude. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Like we literally, like my parents would leave. They would be like, we would be waiting for them to leave. We'd have a friend around the corner with a truck to the White House. Like there's no exaggeration. He was literally around the corner. They would leave. He would pull in. We would take everything out of the fridge at my parents' house and load it exclusively with Ice House. And that was it. And like we had a fridge that's like completely full of Ice House for and we would just keep filling it with Ice House, and that was it.
Wow.
Crazy. So
that's so wild, dude. Ice House. Oh,
gross, right? Like, crushed it.
Yeah. Oh God.
Miss those
and
days.
the other one is, that does make sense, because I remember probably around my senior year of high school, I started working at White Hen in LaGrange.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. Shout out White Hen, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace, White Hen.
I was there through college when they eventually sold the 7-Eleven. It was sad.
Yeah.
Sad day.
Yeah, rest in peace. White Hen was great.
It was awesome. I still have a White Hen pantry hat. It's the best.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's a cool hat. Fuck, I wish I had one of those.
Oh, sweet. But I was hanging with some dudes there who were into, they had actually introduced me to Postal Service before Death Cab.
Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's the same guy, right?
Yeah. So that was Ben Gibbard.
Okay.
Yeah. And like at the time I was like hardcore. I'm like, no, it's got to be metal.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I kind of came around to it. I wasn't as into Postal Service as much, but like Death Cab, I was like just starting to get into around that time. It took like a little while to warm up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, man, like they're so good.
Yeah. I mean, Ben Gibbard is a phenomenal songwriter, but yeah, same thing. I remember hearing Postal Service because of Tom, and it never really grabbed me. And I was like, this is all right, but I'm good. Like, I don't really need to listen to this. But then I think I heard it wasn't their first album. I think it was their second album, like Photo album, I believe is their second full length. And there's a couple songs on there where I was like, okay, this is cool. I can get behind this. And then I think they did one more album, and then Transatlanticism came out. And I remember hearing that front to back, and I'm like, this record is amazing. Like that went through heavy rotation when that came out, and I just kept spinning it over. And then what's funny is I haven't heard it in so fucking long. It's the first time I listened to it in years, and that's another one where it kind of like takes you back. And I'm like, oh man, I remember like just jamming out to this one, like, you know, when I was young as fuck. And it's good sad bastard music is what we like to call it, you know. And but listening to it now, it's funny. I'm like, there's a lot of parallels I've noticed where Death Cab and 9 Inch Nails have these similar structures in their songs of like all this like build up and tension that goes on and on and on, and then finally you get it. And like, it's funny, you know, it's just obviously 9 Inch Nails goes more industrial, whereas Death Cab is more this indie rock thing. And I think that had to be part of the reason why I gravitated towards that band, because I liked 9 Inch Nails a lot too back then. And so, yeah, but as a kid, I'm an idiot, so I didn't really realize, oh, they're similar in some way.
Damn, that's an ear, man.
That's what happens when you get older. They haven't left the scene, so.
Yeah, I mean, even when you throw on like, so it was actually the other day I was cruising to pick up some dinner with like my daughter in the back. She's 3, right? So I just had like Transatlanticism on, and she's like totally into it.
That's
in the back.
Awesome.
Like, and so I put on, I mean, she likes some of their newer stuff too, the things that are like on rotation now, like what's that jam? Ghost of Beverly Hills? Is that what it is? Ghost of Beverly Drive?
I'm not sure.
But some of their newer stuff, she like gets down for that. But it was
That's
just
awesome.
funny, like sitting there and she's just like kicking her feet and just like hanging it. But I'm like, this is right. Like, it's coming full circle.
Right.
It's friggin' awesome.
Jason, did you ever listen to this band at all?
No, I never listened to this band. And not for any particular reason. I mean, like, man, I feel like they're such a sign of the times band too, just because like, I mean, and I would consider this like the generic term of like indie music. this is like immediately what pops into my head is something like this.
Right.
But
I mean,
that being said, I did really enjoy this record. Well, like I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would.
Oh, nice.
Like going into it, because I don't really. I mean, they kind of remind me of bands like there's a band called Cast of It that's from Chicago actually. They're kind of like a math rock version of this, but they remind me a lot of them, like at least like in some weird way. But yeah, it was a fun listen for sure. But yeah, I had never heard it before this, and like I know guys like I know Alex likes Death Cab or kind of likes Death Cab for Cutie. I've heard of the Postal Service. I had no idea. It was actually my girlfriend the other day told me that the singer. She was like, "Oh yeah, the singer for Death Cab is in the Postal Service," and I was like, "Never heard that band either." So I think like when I made the transition, like in the last few years of listening to a lot of stuff that's not metal, I feel like I went more towards like poppier versions of indie bands today, like the 1975 and stuff like in that realm, or like the Midnight or something like that, as opposed to a band like Death Cab, because like I associate Death Cab with shit like Wilco and like kind of, I mean, in like my stupid brain, that's just where my head goes, because I'm like, oh, those are indie bands kind of. But it was cool. It's a cool record, and I did recognize some of the songs because I'm like, okay, I've had to like I recognize some of the choruses. Fuck, I wish I could check the song names, but I'm doing this on my phone with you guys.
I'm trying to think. There's 2 big singles off that album.
Yeah, you know what? I'm on my laptop. I forgot. I'm about to search this up. I'm like my own Joe Rogan assistant.
It's your Jamie.
Yeah, you know, I'm my own thing. Okay.
Yeah. Also, what's up?
Did you ever listen to Ben Folds or Ben Folds 5?
You know what? I ended up getting into that dude like later actually, which is funny because you bring that up because yeah, that would make more sense. That it's like, oh, you listen to this, you probably listen to that. And I remember hearing the singles and always being like, oh, that's cool, but never seeked it out. And then years later, I was like, you know what? I was like, I always liked some of the stuff to Ben Folds. They're like, I might as well just check it out. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. Like, I love this stuff too.
Yeah, because
the song.
Yeah, go ahead.
The song I was thinking of was called "The Sound of Settling."
Yeah, that was like the big one off of that.
Yeah,
that's the more like the more happy like major sounding song, which is funny.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally. Yeah, that's like. That's why I was kind of laughing in my head, Bill, when you said you picked that album, because I was thinking originally, again, I was thinking in the vein of like any genre as long as it's metal, we can talk about. And so when you're like Death Cab, I started thinking about like some of these songs on here, and I'm like, I wonder what this metal audience in this podcast is going to think about
Death Cab. Right. No, we bounce around a lot, and like a lot of our friends are pretty like-minded, where it's just, you know, everybody kind of listens to everything now, especially now that we're older.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like this is actually probably the start of a genesis for me in like getting into, much different types of music. Because like, I mean, I grew up on blues, right? Like B.B. King, the Bodines are kind of bluesy in some regard, but not so forth, right? But like grew up on the blues. Got into metal as I was one of those kids who was just like, it's got to be metal.
Right.
And then around that time, senior year of high school, like, you know, I started listening to Death Cab. I went to college, and that's where I met Lauren, who's now my wife. And she's a huge Dave Matthews fan. So okay. She's seen Dave Matthews Band 47 times.
Holy shit.
It's a lot of times.
And since I've been since I've been either dating her or married to her, I think I've seen Dave Matthews probably like a dozen times at least.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Like,
do you like Dave Matthews, though?
You know, so I explain that first, because I feel like this is important, right? So when the first time it was like, I went to a show with her probably in like 2006 for the first time at Tinley Park.
Nice.
And I was just like, I couldn't believe that the last time I was at Tinley Park before that was for Ozfest.
Oh, yeah.
And then now Dave Matthews Band. But I was trying to impress Lauren at the time, you know, so I was like, you know what, I'm down for it. It's all good.
That's awesome, dude.
So I would just like, I would go, but I would actually just like party harder than like actually enjoying the show.
Hell yeah.
And like, it kind of went like, I would party really hard, and then eventually like the hard partying eclipsed the concert, right? And then like,
okay,
too hard, and it like wasn't a good idea anymore. I just knew I was drinking too much, right? I get like really drunk at the show, and it's like not that fun for anybody else. So like, then I sort of backed out of it, and I just said, you know what, she's into it. I'm just gonna go with it, man. She's got a Dave Matthews Fire Dancer tattooed on her ankle. Like, she's into it, you know. So I wouldn't say that I'm like a fan, but I've been to so many damn shows at this point that like I can go and have a good time with.
Nice.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
A good time, you know. But
yeah.
But it is funny. She also got me back into Ben Folds, which is why I bring that up.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah.
Because I listened to Ben Folds 5 when I was a kid. But Ben Folds, man, like that dude, like the music that guy delivers is insane. He is so talented, and just that like blows my mind listening to him play. And we've seen him at like really small venues before.
Oh, cool.
Where you just get that nuance of the music, and it's wild. Like just how good he is on the keyboards, just how talented he is.
Yeah, I never understood why that guy was never bigger than what he was. Like, there was a minute where he was huge, and then just kind of dropped off and it wasn't like he wasn't producing anything. He was making music, and good music too. But yeah, I don't know why that guy's career went that trajectory, but I don't know. It is what it is.
I feel like he got like a niche of fans who really loved him, and he just like stopped being mainstream and just started being the god to those fans. That's like at least my situation, because people who love Ben Folds love Ben Folds. You know, just good stuff.
Does he play like a similar style of music to like Death Cab?
Yeah, I would put him in that indie-ish category, but he's kind of a different thing all his own.
Yeah, and it's more like piano-driven, like singer-songwriter.
Sure, I know my parents like Ben Folds and Ben Folds 5.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
He has the saddest song in the history of music. You know what I'm talking about?
No, what song? Oh, hell yeah. Phenomenal song, dude. Too.
So good, but like, so deep. So hard. So Jason, it's a song about he got I don't know how old he was, but when he was much younger, he got a girl pregnant, and they ultimately decided to abort the pregnancy.
Okay.
The song is about that, and it's about like that he like it's like a catalog of the day essentially.
Wow, interesting.
It's intense, man. It's a really good song, and then when you actually listen to the lyrics, you're like, holy shit.
That's like that song, The Freshman, Bill.
Yeah, that's also about abortion.
Yeah, kind of, but it's not real. I know that song's not.
I don't believe it's fact. I believe it's the story. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at what's that band? The Verve Pipe. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely will check out that Ben Folds song. It's called Brick.
You know it. It was a huge song.
I mean, maybe if I hear it,
when you hear the chorus, you're like, oh shit, I've heard this. I would assume.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's intense, but good jam. But yeah, it's like that like Death Cab transition into Ben Folds stuff, man. Then like now, I don't remember the last time. I guess the last metal show I went to was Metallica when they came around Soldier Field.
Nice.
A couple summers. Yeah. But I'm more into like, bluesier stuff now, like Tedeschi Trucks Band.
Okay.
Trucks.
Hell yeah.
Dude.
Nice.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, Death Cab was definitely one of those like gateway bands into the lighter side of things for me. And I remember like most of my music came from Tom. Like every suggestion was from him. And I don't even know why the fuck he even went down that route, because he was a big metal guy and still is. But like there's always this side of Tom of like very artsy or like very emotional like music that's like awesome, and it's just like, but it's coming from Tom. You're always like kind of surprised, and usually he knocks it out of the park when he's like, well, you should check that out. And it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And it's been a while since he's given me any suggestions, but that was a big one. That was a huge one that definitely changed where I would go with
that
music.
Tom turned you onto them.
Yeah, and like a lot of
Tom
other
likes
bands.
some real fucked up death metal too, like some scary.
Dude,
death
I
metal
know.
shit.
But he's a big
Like
Portal
that's what
fan.
I always talk to him about.
He loves
Yeah,
Portal, so
and-
like I know you guys probably talk
I know,
about that, right?
yeah. And I know he likes Putridity and
Yeah.
Defeat Insanity and all that shit. But then it's like, oh, yeah, Death Cab. It's definitely like I listen to this record and I understand like the weight it has for a lot of people and why it's such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the original version. I noticed there was like an anniversary edition on Spotify as well.
Yeah, that was interesting. I listened to some of those because they're demos of the songs, and that was pretty cool to hear. Just because it's weird, it's like stripped down versions of the songs you hear now, and different melodies in some parts, which was interesting. Like one of the, I think that one song, the one you mentioned, where it's like super major sounding and happy. Originally, the chorus was like in a minor. And it gave it like this weird, and it was like, that doesn't sound right. So whoever was the producer on that definitely pulled the right move of being like, maybe we should hit this note. Like,
yeah, wow, that's crazy. That's so cool. Yeah, this, and it's crazy that like this album came out in 2003.
Yeah,
like I was
when
young,
I graduated.
dude. I must have been like, I think I was like 12 when this album came out or something like that. Like 12 or 13. I was really young. So like, this totally would have flown. Like, it just wouldn't have been in my circle. Like,
oh yeah,
I wasn't listening to any shit like that at the time. Yeah, and I was way young. Like, that's when I was in a shit like System of a Down and like,
fuck yeah,
you know, like Children of Bodom and shit. And it's just like, yeah, Death Cab. Like a band like that didn't make any sense to me. So I'm kind of glad that like I got the chance to listen to this record for the first time. Like now, as like a 28-year-old adult that has a little bit more of like an adaptable taste in music than I did back then. But it was cool. I definitely,
You should listen to more of their stuff because like Transatlantic.
Yeah, I might.
But they've got a couple good records. I think like was Plans the one right after it?
Yeah, that album's awesome too. I love that one. It was a hard choice between these two, but I think I really liked Transatlanticism mainly because of that self-titled song, which I would have like suggested people check out, but it's an 8-minute long
it's like
song.
A prog, dude, it's like a prog indie song.
It's crazy.
It's
like
so sick.
That one is really reminding me a lot of Nine Inch Nails, where it's just like, you know, like it keeps going, and then there's one more instrument, then another instrument, then another instrument, you know, and it just builds and builds and builds. And I love that. I love his voice on that song. Like, it's awesome. It's so good. It's one of the few 8-minute long songs I can listen to.
It doesn't feel like an 8-minute song.
No,
you know? Like, you're just kind of like jamming to it, and it just feels good. It's a good one, you know. But so it's funny you mentioned. So does Tom live in the Bahamas too?
Yeah. So him and Alex both live in the Virgin Islands, and surviving down there, all the hurricanes and whatnot. Like, dude, that shit has been insane. Like, I was just because like I just saw Alex not too long ago, and we were talking about because they got like another hurricane recently, and she's like, it wasn't that bad, you know, it was just like a category 2. I was like, Jesus. They're like, I would live through worse. And I remember Tom called me once right after they had that really bad one. He's on the phone, and it's just, hey, what's going on? I'm like, dude, should you be on the phone right now? He's like, no, it's totally fine. It seems to be dying out. I'm like, dude, it sounds horrendous. Like, you're making me worried. Like, go back inside. He's like, no, man, it's good. I'm trying to have a smoke right now. Like, Jesus, dude. Unbelievable. But they survived. Yeah, they've been down there for about 5 or 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, they run.
Yeah, I miss Tom. That's
St.
so
Thomas.
fucking funny.
Yeah. You so much music that I just never even heard of at all. Or like where he would discover this stuff, you know.
A lot of it
Yeah,
just
he was a
found
big
through
Lamb Goat,
Lamb
dude. I
Goat.
remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Still is, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Because we jam. So I feel like when we stopped jamming, we broke up Advent Rap. We jammed with Tom for a little bit, didn't we?
I can't remember, like, because when I was growing up, I originally jammed with Tom and his older brother, and that's where I kind of learned to play with like other people, and then eventually I joined you guys, and then what was it? Mike left, or we kicked him out. I don't remember how that went down. It was so long ago.
He never got kicked out. I think he had like a girlfriend thing, which in like high school was the big deal.
Right.
Like, oh, he's missing. Got his girlfriends,
That sounds about right. Yeah. And then we got Jack, which I don't even know how we even got in touch with Jack. Like,
he was from people I knew.
Oh, okay, that sounds about right. Yeah, RB kids.
RB kids, yeah. So a bunch of my buddies went to RB, and then we brought Jack in the mix.
Yeah.
You and I were gonna jam. We were like trying to think of a band name, and it was like when acronym names were cool,
right?
We were like really hard to think of like an acronym name for a band. I don't think we could together, but eventually we had him come and try out and sing Mudvayne to try out.
Yeah, of course. That's a good go-to tryouts on that. Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
And then eventually Rick joined. I think we did like 2 shows, and it's funny. Rick was on the show a couple of weeks ago before he moved, and we were talking about that, and like we felt so bad because like I think we told him, we're like, hey man, like I think me and Jack are gonna call it, and then we told you, and you're like, yeah, it's fine. Like I'm gonna be going to college. Like I totally get it. And then we had to tell Jose. We just felt so bad because he was so into it, and like I still feel bad about it, but he took it pretty hard when we were like, yeah, we're done. Yeah. And then I don't think Tom
Jose from the Evening Funeral.
Yeah. So he was our original guitar player in that band.
Yeah. And Advent Wrath.
Yeah, and Self-Infliction. Yeah. And then,
Wow.
But I don't know. I mean, Tom might have like jammed with us at a practice or something if we just for shits and giggles, but I don't know if he ever actually was part of that band, because I know we talked about, because me and Jack were ready to leave, and we're like, well, who are we gonna get? Like we need people if we're gonna do something new, and Tom was one of the first people that popped up, mainly because he lived down the block from me.
We jammed like once or twice afterwards, but like the direction you guys were moving was just like different from what I was into.
Oh yeah,
because I was more into like groove metal. You guys were into like all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, we wanted to get pretty wacky with it.
And I just like there was always my style to play. I ended up going to play with some guys who were like, we sounded like Black Label Society hardcore.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Pretty awesome. But so I play with guys like that, but I feel like that's when it just like totally splintered off.
Right.
So, I want to go do different stuff, man. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Plus, as young as we were, it was pretty funny. It's just, people change and it happens,
Yeah. It's funny to look back on that stuff and realize like how stupid some of the things that like you would get into fights for. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I said with one of them, it's like, a girlfriend thing.
Right.
So we were late to practice because he was picking up his girlfriend, and we kicked him out of the band. You know what I mean? Like what?
We were serious, Sky. We wanted to take over the world. We can't do that with a singer that doesn't show up, right?
Ridiculous. What were your high school bands, man? What was your high school?
My high school bands?
Well, this was what, like 3-4 years ago?
Dude, 10 years ago, man. I graduated 10 years ago.
Wow, you're getting up there now.
Yeah, already. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. I graduated in 2010.
Yeah, I graduated 30 years ago, so I know how it goes.
In high school, my high school bands like were definitely like Pantera, Metallica, but then I got into shit like Black Dahlia Murder, Cannibal Corpse, Children of Bodom, Behemoth, Nile. Shit like that. I was super into it. And I also loved like prog rock. I was really into like King Crimson, Yes, Rush, Genesis, stuff like that. Even like some eventually getting into like trying to get into jazz fusion and stuff like that. But I was like in flames in metalcore bands too. I loved metalcore in fucking high school, dude. I still love it. But like like Killswitch Engage was really big, In Flames, shit like that.
Oh yeah, I feel like we thought we were Killswitch Engage when we were playing.
We were trying really hard with
nice.
the singing choruses and the heavy verses.
And Jack was in that band?
Yeah.
Wow, so it was Jack, Sky, Jose,
and me.
Rick, and you?
Well,
that's such a weird combination of guys.
Rick came like way later and only did like I think 3 shows or something like that.
But still, it's just like, whoa, all of the like cross pollination, because it's like I know Jose through a completely different set of people,
right? Yeah, and which is crazy, like small world.
Really?
Yeah, I knew that guy before I knew. Yeah, I've known Jose longer than I've known Bill. I think. I mean, we don't really talk a lot or anything, but like when eventually I started noticing them talking on Facebook or him commenting on your shit, I'm like, how did that like?
How do you know that guy? Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's rotten. Obviously, Rick I know from you, and like I met him through you, and yeah, it's just a weird. And then Jack I know from Capsize,
right?
And like. It's just so weird.
It's funny. Jack's gonna kill me, but you can go on YouTube and you can find videos of Advent Wrath, and it's me, Sky, Jack, and Jose.
Dude,
they are there
on YouTube.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Do I just search Advent Wrath?
Eli doing camera work, which is awesome.
What venue? Where were you guys playing?
St. Louis.
St. Louis de Marillac at a church. Yeah.
Our old stomping grounds.
Of suburban churches. Like, that was a thing.
I played churches in high school.
There was like 3 of them by us. It was St. Louis, DP, Divine Providence, and then there was a third one. That was the circuit.
Really?
Yeah, it was like crazy, and it was like you had these bands, we all played like together a bunch, or they just like had members formed together.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the one that like the early one was like Decapitron. Do you remember those guys by chance?
Oh, dude, I used to play with Pete, the old guitar player Decapitron. Yeah, so my current band, Something Is Waiting, Pete is one
Pete
of
Grossman?
Pete Grossman's in that band, or was in that band.
Yeah, okay. He's from Decapitron?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't...
If I gotta find some if I can find them, there gotta be somewhere some pictures where it's awesome, because Pete had this amazing hair that just stood up really far, and it was very, very Mudvayne-esque.
That was it, man. He had the do and
hell yeah.
And it was like, he was a few years older than me, maybe a couple years older than me, but it was just enough where he was so cool, like to capture. I had the shirt. I had the shirt.
So do I. It's awesome.
We had their album upstairs.
Hell yeah.
So like those guys were big. There was that band Severed.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those guys are Bong Ripper now.
Yeah. So that's what they turned into. Most of them, like Dan, Nick, and what's the bass player's name? Ron.
Ron. Yeah.
Because they've always been together. Like they started out as Turmoil was the original band. Then it was because Capsize had a song about that where it was called it's a long title because it's all their band names. It was like Severed in the Wake of a Funeral Bomb. I can't. It's something so fucking funny, and it was like, yeah, that's all their band names.
That's awesome.
And now they're like one of the biggest doom metal bands ever.
I see like Nick posted on Facebook all the time, man. They're like touring Europe like crazy.
Yeah, dude, I just did Dan's Kitchen like 2 summers ago. So I saw it was pretty funny. I didn't even get to see him, but I knew his wife because of we all went to high school together, so it was pretty funny.
Public library. That was part of the circle. It was like me, you, Jackie, and like at the library in the morning before class started.
Hell yeah.
Hardcore. But yeah, I mean, that church scene, that was a real thing, dude. Like that was like those shows were pretty intense.
They always did well. They always had like a built-in crowd of kids that's just what we did. And even if you weren't playing the show, you went to the show because it was just so much fun. Everybody was, for the most part, everybody was friends. But then they had those shows where they would do like the hardcore and the punk kids, and that would always have some sort of tension going on, but it's kind of funny. Like, I wonder where, like, because I never really knew any of the punk guys, because, like, it was a different world for us, you know? So I don't know where those guys are now, which would be funny. Like, we need to make that group on Facebook or something of, like, that group of churches. Like, if you played that, please, like, where are you now? That'd be awesome.
There was one band called Crod.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And it was just, their band name was just Dork spelled backwards.
Right. Who the fuck? I feel like I know somebody now that was, like, in that band.
Yeah.
That's a pretty rough name.
Yeah.
Crod. Oh, God.
Dude, I'm trying to think of the band. Oh, man. Do you remember the band where it was a drum machine and it was just, I believe it was 2 guitar players and a bass player, and the bass player, I think, did vocals. I can't remember the fucking name of it now. But basically, after Advent Wrath stopped and we started doing Capsized, we had this drummer in Forest Park, had him for a little bit, and Jack, at this point, was going to DePaul and found out about this drummer, Mike. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, what bands was he in before, if any? And he mentioned this band that we played with all the time at those church shows. And I was like, well, hold on. I was like, that band had a drum machine. I was like, how good of a drummer can this kid be? Like, if they're not going to have him on drums. And lo and behold, it turned out he was awesome. He was an amazing drummer. So we're like, he's in. Let's do it. Yeah. But I just thought it was the funniest thing. Like, what are the odds that it's like, yeah, this guy wants to try out for the band on drums, but his old band was a drum machine band. Oh, okay.
Yeah, seems a little weird.
Right.
Little sketch.
Oh, good. We'll see. We'll see.
Man, it's a good time. It's a good time. Oh. I am dying to talk about this Jason album. I got to be honest with you.
Cool. Yeah.
Dude, sick. Hell yeah. We could do that.
It's like stuck in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. So I picked Saturation 2 by Brockhampton, who's like pretty modern hip hop collective group of dudes. And I love them. I've like fallen in love with them the past few years, and I like everything they've done. I picked this one because it seems to be like the standout album to a lot of people out of everything they do. But I think it's a really good example of everything that they can do on this record, and it's such a fun listen because it goes everywhere.
So like I noticed like it's Saturation 2, there's a one. Like was it like a multi-disc thing, or is it just they were one right after, or how?
They're just separate records. They released those 3 albums like in 1 year or something like that.
Oh wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, they all
That's
came
crazy.
out in like 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one, because I had to do some Google searching because I hadn't heard of them. I'm just like, I gotta know the story on these guys. Like, they were Saturation like in June 2017. By December 2017, Saturation 2 and 3 had been released, plus 11 music videos.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, that's insane.
And each disc had like 15 songs on it at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're an entire like collective. It's like 6 dudes that do, that are actual like they rap. Or on those records, it was 7 guys who were rapping and singing, and then they have like a team of producers who produce all the music. They have visual guys. It's like crazy. It's this whole group of people that everybody kind of plays a role in it, and it's just a really like it's kind of like I feel like they were derived from like something like Odd Future with Tyler the Creator and Earl Sweatshirt and shit, but this was almost like a more refined version of that in a way, like kind of like inspired by that.
Yeah, like the group of dudes. Like, is there one dude in this group that's like more stand out than the others, or is it like? Yeah,
they're like Kevin Abstract is the dude's name. He's like the lead dude in the band, and like, he's big. He's a homo. He talks about his sexuality a lot in the songs because he's gay, and he sings about it with confidence, which I really think is cool because like you don't hear that a lot. But I think guys like him and Tyler the Creator, it's kind of cool how they go out there and do something like that. And I would say he's like, the figure for that band in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. When I first like dialed it up, when you sent it through, I was kind of like, all right, here we go. Like, let's see if I can muscle through this one. Like, let's see how this goes. Like, we'll listen to it no matter what. Let's just see what happens. I I'd be lying if I wasn't telling you that I cut the lawn today while rocking this hard.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
So like it just like sticks with you, and I actually felt like what got me in. I had to look at the track names real quick because they're all one name song titles, and like the one that got me, the first couple songs I was like down with, although that song "Queer" is like such an earworm, it's crazy.
Yeah, super catchy song.
That song "Jello" though, that's the one where I just
like, that song's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's crazy because, so how many people are in the band total? You mentioned a whole bunch.
So like, I think it's on this record, it's 7 guys. It's like 7 dudes that do the rapping and the singing at least.
Yeah. They're all over the place, man. Those like, they almost have completely different sounds, like song in some capacities.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like my favorite song on the record is the last song, "Summer," because it sounds like this like modern R&B like Prince song, and it's only like one of this dude Bareface that's his name. He's like one of the guys, and he just like that crazy singing, and it's like so sick that they could do something like that, and like, you know, a song like "Queer" or a song like "Jello."
Yeah, it's wild. Like, and I do want to kind of go listen to some of their other albums, like at least the Saturation stuff. Because it was like it just kind of gets with you, and then you realize like what he's singing about. Because that got me too, like him singing about like, you know, singing about his sexuality a lot. I thought that was awesome. And like that was and then you start listening to those lyrics in a whole different way when you kind of like dial into that. Super cool, man. Like cool pick.
Definitely, yeah. I'm glad you dug it, dude. Like I've been really into them I think I found them in like 2018. So I've been into them for like a while now, and I've been following the last few albums they've done because the Saturation trilogy got them signed to like RCA, which is a major label.
Oh wow!
And they got like a multi-million-dollar contract through that.
Jeez.
And you know, and I've been following them ever since, and like I love everything they've done. I feel like everything they've done is pretty, like the Saturation albums definitely have a coherent sound through the whole thing, but then the next album was way different, and then the newest album, Ginger, is also way different. They're all great though, in my opinion. But
so there's
Saturation, huh?
They're still putting out albums?
Yeah, oh yeah. They were putting out like these songs during quarantine, like that you could download for free. Called I forget what it was. They had a name for them, but they're really good, and I think you can pretty much find any of those on YouTube. But and apparently they have records done from what I've been seeing. But yeah, I was really into I got really into this kind of as like a surprise. Like I mean it's like on an accident. Like I didn't plan on like getting super into it, and then I just kept going back and listening to it. And I was like, wow, I really like this.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. I listen to like, I get more excited about like hearing something new from Brockhampton more than I would from like a metal band, which is like insane to me. But I mean, Bill, you probably heard me talk about them like countless times.
Oh, I know. So
like,
it was nice to like finally check it out. And it was cool. It was funny. It took a second for me to like warm up to it too. And but yeah, once it gets going and you get the idea behind it, you're like, oh, okay, like. But yeah, I ended up liking it. I thought it was pretty fun. Like, I'm not the biggest like hip hop guy, and my scope of it is like pretty narrow. But yeah, that even Sky mentioned that track Jello. Like, I remember hearing it and like I was like, all right, like, and that really grabbed me. I did like that song. That one will probably end up being saved on my phone.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
So good.
Yeah, that song is really cool.
Yeah. So how did you find these guys?
I found them through it was really weird. So I'm really into, and I'll probably do this on another one of these variety episodes, but I'm really into this band called the 1975. They're a pop band from Britain.
Yeah.
And they worked with a dude on a song who worked on another song with that dude Bareface from Brockhampton. And I really liked that song, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Where is this other dude from? And when I did a Google search, I was like, oh, Brockhampton. And I had heard the name Brockhampton before, and I knew they were like a collective, but I had never really listened to them. And then I just slowly got into them. Like by that time, all the Saturation records were out. And I had listened to those and I was just like, wow, like it just like reeled me in like the more and more I listened to it. Yeah. But what's cool about those albums is that like they all lived in a house like in California together, like all of those dudes. It was like 15 guys in a house and they were like constantly working on this record like nonstop. And like I mean they must have made a shit ton of money from it and they got a shit ton of popularity from it because that's what scored them that deal. But what's interesting actually is one of the main dudes that's on Saturation, all the Saturation albums, he's actually the guy that's on the album covers. His name's Amir. He was kicked out because of some like sexual assault allegations, like literally right after those Saturation albums came out. And like now he's putting out solo music that's pretty much dogging like Brockhampton.
Really?
It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's like a modern like feud story. Right. You know what I mean?
Every good
like,
hip hop group needs that.
Yeah, and like there's songs on like albums like Ginger, like that. Like there's plenty of those guys like singing verses about that dude. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. But yeah, they're just really cool. I mean, it's really accessible music to me at least, and it's just like it's like just the perfect right amount of like weird shit that like. I love it.
What
go ahead, Bill.
I was gonna say, what's the story behind the name? Do you know?
Yeah, Brockhampton was the street that Kevin Abstract grew up on when he lived in Corpus Christi, Texas, which is where he's from.
Oh, okay. Are they all from Texas or all over?
So most of the dudes, I want to say like 3 or 4 of the guys are from Texas because that's where they started. Essentially, like. Kevin Abstract had a couple of friends that he was rapping with, and they were on this Kanye West forum, and they ended up meeting a bunch of other guys, and they kind of started their own collective online through that Kanye West forum. And now it's just like, I think like that one dude, Bareface, he's from like Belfast, like Ireland.
Oh, okay.
And there's some guys, I know Dom, one of the rappers, he's from like the East Coast. He's from like Connecticut or something. And some of the guys like are from California, I'm pretty sure. It's kind of like they were from all.
Oh, shit. Did I lose you guys?
But he moved out to Texas. And then they like, what?
Sorry.
Can you hear me, Bill?
It's like cutting out a little bit, but I think you're good. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Okay. So they like got all these people to come and live with them in Texas. And then they were like, all right, we need to like go to LA because that's where like this industry is. And like, you know, a lot of hip hop gets recognized out there. So they all moved out to, I think it was San Marcos. Is that in California or is that in Texas?
I
can't remember.
Sounds like California.
I think San Marcos is California. And so they moved out there and like, that's where they did the Saturation records. But yeah, they just got a really cool, And I'd seen their name like a lot, like because they played like Lollapalooza, I'm pretty sure before, and like some other big summer festivals like that. Like,
have you guys ever gone to Lollapalooza? Sorry for the aside.
No,
I
never have.
I worked a job in a building across from the park where it was at, and I got to hear a sound check. That's about it. I don't really like going to festivals. Like that's not my thing.
Yeah, that show just sounds like a terrible experience to me. Like, it's just the commute to get there, like the location isn't super convenient.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Total mayhem. And then just, I mean, some bands there sound really awesome. Other ones, I'm like, I don't know. And just the whole day, it just seems like it's a packed chaos scene. And I'm just like, no.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't want to pay hundreds of dollars to hang out in 100-degree weather and pay $20 for a small bottle of water. Yeah, come on. Doesn't that sound amazing?
That was my first Ozfest experience. I was like so young. I didn't have money for like water and stuff. I didn't realize how much I would need it. 100 degrees. We're like in the pit with seeing Hatebreed.
Fuck yeah.
And like the side stage. And I just remember like after getting out of the pit, I was like, I ended up having like really bad like sun poisoning. I was like sick for 3 days afterwards, like sick to my stomach. I was like sitting on a bench. I mean, there was like no substances. I just didn't have enough water. I was totally dehydrated.
Right.
Oh no, dude.
Sitting on the side of like the edge of the truck. It was in between like them going from the side stage to the main stage, you know? And I just remember security guard walks up and he's like, "You don't look so good, man."
Thanks.
They gave me a bottle of water and then walked away, and that was it.
Nice.
Jeez. Yeah, I definitely remember seeing a lot of people pass out at those Ozfest, like just because of a heat stroke. It was like insane. And then of course, like all the water is so fucking expensive.
Yeah, your $7 water bottle, and then they don't let you keep the top.
Right.
They like throw away the cap.
Because you'll kill somebody with that.
Bullshit.
Exactly.
I remember when I forgot what year it was. I think it was 2003. I went to Ozfest, and like the night before it rained horribly, so the lawn was like disgustingly muddy, and people were just throwing like whole handfuls of mud into the seats, and then the people in the seats would then have the mud and throw it back into the crowd. And I remember somebody took the time to fill a whole water bottle with mud, launched it, and took out this like 90-pound girl, like just out completely. Like if I felt like it was like, oh, it's like Saving Private Ryan, but in person.
Dude, I was at that same year. I don't even know. I mean, we had to know each other then, but like, I don't
maybe that wasn't the one I went to. I can't remember. Like Tom would know better than me.
2003. Yeah. But it was, so everybody's throwing stuff like from the lawn all over the place.
Yeah.
And like
mayhem.
There was just stuff thrown everywhere. And like literally a empty plastic cup lands next to me. And I just like, pick it up and I throw it straight in the air. Like that's almost just straight in the air. And it like floats around and it lands on this biker dude. Who just like looked like the biggest badass ever. Like long goatee, and he was looking right at me, you know, like literally like looking right at me. And so like he like happened to see me throw it, I guess. And this won't be good, I guess, for your podcast people, but he just looks at me, literally goes like this, like no, like,
oh no!
His hand across his
the
neck,
universal sign for you are dead.
I watched the whole show from the other side of the lawn. I literally ran to the other side of the lawn because I was like a high school kid about to be killed by a biker because I chose to throw a cup in the air.
Take your chances, man.
Damn.
But so with the you were mentioning, Jason, that when Amir left Brockhampton, they were getting into a feud, or he's kind of feuding with them.
Yeah.
Like, how come hip hop is the only music where they seem to do that like regularly? You know, like there's just
it's more commonplace. Yeah.
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 See that in a whole lot of other genres, and I kind of dig it. Like it like adds a level to it.
Oh yeah, there's some, the drama to it. It makes it definitely a little more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think like I don't think they ever like resolved it necessarily, but I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I don't know much about hip hop feuds. I don't know, because like I'm newer to hip hop, and like I don't know as much about it as I do like metal. But I feel like there are, like, even in metal though, there's definitely a few feuds that have been out there that are like very similar to some feuds in hip hop, and that like the correlation is just like, oh shit.
Yeah, but I don't think they put it into like songs though. That's the difference. Like that doesn't happen.
Oh yeah,
as often.
exactly.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's true.
It'd be funny if they did.
I don't know. I think. Yeah, I think it's just because like hip hop is such, I don't know, it's a little more personal than metal sometimes, because it's not always like super thematic. Like, Metallica has all these like songs with huge themes loaded behind them, but like, when you listen to like, I don't know, a Tupac song or a Biggie song, and like, yeah, there's like a theme, but it goes like all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was the stuff we were into.
Would it be awesome if like Metallica had a song where they're just like calling out Dave Mustaine? Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Like, that'd be huge.
Dave Mustaine had a call out song.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Like I'm surprised. Like that'd be maybe he has, because I don't listen to Megadeth, but like I would think people would know about that if he did. Like it'd be so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't know, man. It's like a cool element to it, but it is funny because like when we were listening to like hip hop in the 90s, and like more of the hardcore, like the Pac, Biggie, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You would listen to those jams, and I'm just like, totally oblivious to what's going on, like the history behind it. I just know it's a jam.
Right.
And we were singing all the words, to these songs. And then you find out later that it's like a total battle going on between these two guys.
Yeah.
Little like me is singing the friggin' song.
Yeah.
My mom's singing Winstar, like singing.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, man. But I haven't listened to like any hip hop like since that era. I would say like anything that kind of happens up on the radio, I listen to it. But like 90s was it. Like that's all I was into. I feel like almost everybody went through some phase like that where they were into. I mean, it was so big in the 90s,
Yeah, it was a good time for it.
Man, like so good. And like now all the documentaries, I don't know how many Tupac and Biggie documentaries I've watched at this point. I feel like I know all the details. I know the whole case file, man. I know exactly what's going on. But yeah, man, we literally used to like cruise just. I mean, you remember the Ford Windstar, don't you, Bill?
Fuck yeah.
So, Jason, I had my mom's minivan, and that's what we used to like. I used to carry my drum kit around in, take the seats out.
Oh, fuck yeah. There you go.
Dude, it was awesome. And we would cruise around in that thing, and it was either like Slayer or Tupac.
Nice.
That's what was going on in the car. It's just
hell yeah.
It's awesome.
That's so funny.
Yeah, man. Now, then we upgraded to like your van, Bill.
Yeah.
And,
E350.
Then we got serious.
Dude, is that the van you still have?
It might be different. I'm not sure.
One more.
I've had this van for a long time, but I've always had like E350s like growing up. For the longest time, but I think this is like our third or fourth one. I can't remember. Mm. But yeah, it's a good work van. Fit a lot of crap in there.
Hell yeah.
Pack a lot of people in there, man. Because we used to do those jobs with your dad.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Was it one summer? It feels like 2 summers I worked with your dad. I don't remember.
I can't remember. I know you worked a good while with us.
Yeah.
Probably 2 summers.
That was intense, man. Yeah, like, I mean, we did that one job. I remember there was one job we did where we had to do this conference table at an office building, huge conference table. And because it couldn't be moved, we had to do it after hours. So the job started at 7 p.m. or something like that.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Works through the night. And set off the fire alarms in the middle of it too. So like,
you were there for one of those where like the alarm went off. When we were careful about it, we usually cover stuff up, where we're working, and the alarm went off. And I remember like the fire department showed up and they like checked the system, and they were like, we were on like the 12th floor or something like that. And they're like, yeah, this thing went off on like the 3rd floor. Like it was like a fucked up alarm. It just happened to go off. And so like later on, the fucking owner that was like, you got to pay for like this and that. Cause like the fire truck came out and everything. And we're like, whoa, like it wasn't us. Like your system fucked up. And the firefighter told us that. And you can even like confirm it with them, which I think they ended up doing because they never called us back to be like, where's our money? It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, come on. But also,
they still pay you guys?
Yeah, we still got paid. But the other funny thing, I remember one time, another late job that we were doing, we came back, and one of our hot spots was Denny's afterwards. We'd always go there because you could either get dinner or breakfast because it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. So like, don't know where the hell you are. We're all coming off from like chemicals and stuff. And we're at Denny's, and I think it was a whole gang of us. It was like, I think Jose helped out. I think Tom and Brandon helped on that one too. And we're sitting there, and like right as our waitress is coming out with the food, Sky just like was like talking, and his hand swiped and just knocked over like a full Coke everywhere. And I just remember your reaction was priceless. Like, you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe this. I've never done something like this. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I can't believe this is happening.
I was a good camera boy, man. I was apologetic.
Right. You felt so bad. And like, oh man. And like all of us scrambling for like these shitty napkins to like clean it up. And yeah. It was a good time.
Dude, those were intense. Like, I remember the like most memorable job ever was for me, and it wasn't even. It was like an apartment building somewhere. We were doing an elevator.
Okay.
I don't even know.
That was in Skokie.
Was it in Skokie? Oh, wow, I can't even remember.
We were redoing the floors, right?
Yeah,
that was hands down one of the worst jobs ever.
So your dad rolls out.
He was like, fuck this. He's like, you guys can handle this. Like, oh.
Yeah. We spend the whole day, like, bondoing that floor. It was so messed up.
This is all like, jacked up from us trying to pull out the original, like, I think it was like tile. Which is crazy to put in a fucking elevator.
The whole day, like, bondo. Your dad comes back after, like, what felt like 12 hours of being gone. He shows up, and he like starts berating us for like, why would you do this? Why would you put bondo on the floor? Like, you should have just done this and whatever. And we were just both like fuck,
dude, like what the really? Fuck, man? Like, we're both in high school. Like, what do you like? Come on, man. Like,
for real. That was like,
you guys in high school?
Yeah. I might have been in college, and Sky might have been in his last year.
Yeah. I mean, we did a lot of crazy jobs. We did a bank. I remember we did Chicago City Council Chambers.
Yeah. Yeah, you were a part of that. Yeah. Hell yeah. We did that. That job was infamous because the union painters stole all our brand new tarps. Motherfuckers. They didn't like us. We weren't union, so they didn't like us.
But going to the jobs was good. Like, that was cool. You know, like, you go places, check some stuff out.
Yeah.
The worst was working in a shop, man. When your dad had that place at that.
Was that in Forest Park at the time?
Yeah, the one that's on the like west side of Circle Ave. Yeah,
that was the old Roost building. I mean, it's gone now. I mean, have you been by there at all? Like, it's a park and stuff, and. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I miss that shop. The new shop we have now fucking sucks. I'm on the 4th floor. You've been to the building, but yeah, I'm on the 4th floor, and dude, it's just, it averages like 90 degrees in there. That's just terrible.
But it was just that you go to that shop, and it was just, I don't know, man, chemicals all day.
Oh yeah,
all day. You're still doing it though.
Yeah, still going strong. I still have my faculties. I still know how to count, which is good. I can't remember the color blue for the life of me, though. I now wear shoes with Velcro, but other than that, I'm doing good. Doing real good. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Shoes with Velcro are cool. It makes it easy.
Yeah. Pop on and off. Super simple.
Super simple. Whatever happened to that guy Oscar? Do you remember him?
He ended up moving back to Mexico. Like, he made enough money to have a house built down in Mexico, and then he moved back down there. Friends with him on Facebook. He doesn't really post much, but I think he like coaches like a soccer team down there, for some kids, and I don't know. Looks like he's doing good. I don't think he's been back since.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. I mean, he was getting paid a ton to work with your dad.
Oh, I know. And he worked like, not only did he work with my dad, but he worked like other jobs too, and so he made really good money. And then eventually he ended up living with John Artis's folks, and. His rent was like next to nothing because he was helpful around the house, so they were just like, fuck it, like, stay here as long as he wants, and so he ended up saving even more money, which is cool.
Damn, Jason, do you ever get pulled in? You ever do a job with Bill and his dad by chance?
No, I never did. I kind of want to, but I've never done one.
Dude, I don't think you'd like it at all.
Yeah, I don't think I would like it either. I honestly think I would probably suck at it. Like.
Dude, my dad
I want to experience
yell
it, though.
at you
like,
immediately.
Part of me was like, it would be cool to have that experience, but I probably couldn't hang. with that crew. I mean, I want to just go for like the lunch part and like the hanging
that's
part.
fun.
Like, I would hang out with them at a job for sure. If they were like, just come with and hang out. Yeah, why not? You know. But like, there's no way I would be able to handle the work.
Just be the guy who like tapes everything. You know.
It's a good gig.
Yeah, dude. I don't even yeah. I'll hang out for free too, man. Ooh, shit, you know, like
experience it.
Free labor.
Yeah, just to see what it's like, just so I can see the interactions between you and your father.
Oh God, they're rough.
How's he doing?
Good, real good, man. He hasn't changed much. Still the same dude, and still fishing and whatnot, and yeah, still working nonstop. I don't know how the fuck he has the energy to still do that, but it's funny. Like I'm trying to think. We were like supposed to move something. And the other day we're supposed to move a table that it has 2 leaves that come out, and it's a pretty big table to begin with. So once it's all assembled, this thing weighs a fucking ton, but it comes apart pretty easily. And so I'm explaining to him, I was like, let's just take it apart because this thing's gonna destroy you. He's like, no man, I think I could do it. I think I can handle. I was like, no. I was like, you're old as fuck. Your back and knees are ready to go. Like, stop. Like, there's no reason for you to do this. And he's like, no, let's just get this in there. I was like, all right, fine. So we try to lift this thing into the van, and it was just like death pains coming out. I just like struggling to get this up there, get it in the van. I was like, all right, now you want to get this over to the house and try to go upstairs and try to get this in there? Yeah, you're right. We should definitely take this apart. Yeah, no shit, man. Like, you almost died there. Like, come on.
Man, he's still
it's gonna suck.
Yeah. He's still going for it, though, huh?
Yeah. You know, he's a lifer.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Are your parents still at the same spot on Circle?
No, they ended up moving out. They now live in Clarendon Hills. So,
oh, dang. They're like out my way then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're close to 63rd and... Fuck, what's the little road? It's like there's I'm trying to think. I can't think of the little side road I got, but it's like 63rd and why am I forgetting this?
Madison?
No, man, it's really close to the border of Willowbrook, where my aunt and uncle lived, which was near that farm that we played, Arabian Nights Farm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right by there. It's like that little side street that goes right past that place. That place is gone now. Did you see?
So I haven't been like right where you're talking about. I actually go swim at a place right over there, like 75th and Kingery Highway.
Okay.
Like there's a facility right there, and then I'll like go into Hinsdale and stuff like that after.
Oh, cool.
But so I'm like right over that way, but I haven't been by where that farm's at. I remember that show so much.
Yeah, that was my first show.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was my first show with the band.
I had a light up deer head on my drums.
Fuck yeah. Believe we played with Willick's Booth at that one, which was a blast because like I eventually got to play in a band with that drummer, which was phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, Rick Siegfried. We did get to jam for a little bit. It was pretty funny. I remember talking about it. I was like, dude, that band ruled.
Was that like a Sunday night too? For some reason, I feel like it was a Sunday night.
I can't remember. Probably. It's such a weird. Like, Jason, do you ever hear about that place, Arabian Nights Farm? And I think that's Willowbrook.
Yeah, you've told me about it before.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was literally a horse farm in the middle of this fucking subdivision, basically, and you played in a barn, and it was cool. It was a lot of fun. But they've since leveled it, and now it's just like townhouses and condos or something like that.
Condos and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's by where your parents were staying with your aunt, right?
Yeah, like they were on the other side.
I remember
of that street that runs
in
parallel.
Willowbrook.
Yeah, I just can't think of what that street is that it was on, but that's where my folks are. Like they're really close to that.
Man, that's awesome. Awesome. It looks like the house on Circle got I was there like a week ago. I was driving down Circle. Looks like a bunch of work got done to that house.
Yeah. They opened up the porch, which is really cool because that's how it was originally. But when my folks bought the house, somebody had enclosed it and all that. And it looks nice. They did a really good job with it. Curious as what the inside looks like, though.
A lot of good times in that basement, man.
Oh, I know. The basement and that backyard, a lot of good times.
Totally. Man, like that was like your recording studio.
Yeah,
Because you were a
record
band, right? Like it brought some people in, recorded them up down there.
Yeah, I had a handful of bands that came down and recorded, and it's funny, like looking back, I was like, man, I was not really good at that, but people took a chance with me for whatever reason. And what's funny is one of the first bands that recorded was a band called Wasted Fortune, who are now like my best friends, like, and they're good friends of the band and everything, and they're called Bear and Air now. And yeah, I love those dudes. We've been friends ever since. Yeah, it's crazy how that worked out. And I've recorded 3 of their albums, I believe.
Damn.
2 or 3. I did 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, it's funny now. I'm like, fuck, I want another go at it. Like, I think I could do better.
You should just get a studio going, make it happen.
Right? I don't know. There's plenty of other better like Pete Grossman is a engineer now and owns a studio called Bricktop, and dude, they're awesome. They're so good. Like Jason's band Warforged did stuff with them at that place, and Pete's mixed stuff for them, and Pete mixed stuff for my band, Something Is Waiting, and yeah, he's the shit, man. He's awesome. So yeah, there's much better people out there doing it. So
let that ride. Let them do their thing.
Yeah, let them keep doing it. Yeah.
Man, Jason, did you ever? Well, how long would your parents move out of that place? How long did they move out of Forest Park?
I've been over there before.
Yeah.
I went over there. Yeah, quite a few times. I was there for the final 4th of July party. I've been in the basement and stuff, and like seen that, and I've been over to your place a couple times.
The basement, which eventually became Tom's lair.
Yeah, I just remember it was like guitars everywhere, dude.
Yeah, that sounds about right. There's always just gear down there, and not much has changed. So yeah.
Because you guys didn't you guys used to practice at your place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean originally we used to practice at Sky's folks' house back in the day, and then eventually moved it to my place.
That was in Brookfield.
LaGrange Park.
Yeah.
LaGrange. Oh, okay. Weird. Yeah. LaGrange and LaGrange Park.
Right.
So confusing to me.
Are your folks still there?
They're at the same place, man.
Hell yeah. Still rocking the Cleveland Indians flag?
You know they are.
Fuck yeah.
You know they are.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Jason, I'm originally from Cleveland, so like
Oh shit, okay.
When we moved out here, like we were the only people in town who were Indians fans. Like,
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and like my dad, we're a big baseball family, man. I love baseball.
Oh yeah.
So like the tribe flag all the time.
Hell yeah.
Red House, Cleveland Indians flag.
It was nice.
It was very easy to find that house for my first practice.
Totally. We only practiced there because I was the drummer, so I'm like, my kid's staying here.
Right,
dude. Same. That's how it used to be when I lived in a house with my parents. That's what we would always do that.
Yeah, because like bring a guitar and like everybody had this, they would bring around until I met Bill, and then he had like cabs, and it was like a whole new world.
The stack, yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah, I got to the point where we discovered practice spaces, and like that's what bands do, when they become adults.
We're adult, yeah.
And like, so that's what we ended up acclimating to. But yeah, I never wanted to move my kid anywhere. I was like, fuck no.
No way.
What exactly.
Go for? Like, what does that even cost you guys to rent?
Dude, they're all over the place. Yeah. Our room now is like
$400.
Yeah, 400 or something like that.
Which is probably the cheapest, I believe, out of all the places in Chicago right now.
Yeah.
And then I think my other spot's like 5 something. And then we had a spot before. It was the most expensive spot
like
in Chicago.
$850, dude.
Yeah, but it was like one of the nicest.
It was a really
places.
Nice room.
Yeah. But it was like, what are we doing? Like, we're a fucking metal band. Like,
didn't make any sense.
We need to slum it for a little bit here. Like, this is terrible. This is too good for us.
Yeah.
So now we're in a practice space twice the size, which is awesome, for half the price.
Yeah.
Sweet. Do you still? Well, didn't they have practice spaces in that place your dad had a shop in Forest Park?
Yeah, they did. I don't know if there was like a name. I'm pretty sure there was a name for it, but I never knew what it was. I never really knew anybody that practiced in there. I did
we shot our music video in there.
Yes.
Where?
Yeah, dude.
At the old
Warforged shop in your shop.
Not that shop. He's talking about the one in Forest Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
So it was funny because like back in the day, you'd be walking down the bridge and you can hear bands like jamming and stuff. And I remember when we first moved in that building, Tom was helping me out, like move stuff from the old shop. And this fucking guy comes out of nowhere. Looks like he's got to be anywhere. He could have been anywhere from late 40s to like early 70s because he was just so pickled from years of just drinking and smoking, you can tell, you know. And he was just like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" We're like, "Hi, like what the fuck? Like, who are you?" And he was just like, "Oh," he's like, "I got a practice space over here, like, you know." He's like, "You guys want to check it out?" And like, all right. And I remember like looking over at Tom like, "All right, here's the deal. If this dude tries to fuck with us, we're knocking him the fuck out. We'll just go right back to the shop. Like, fuck this. I don't know who the fuck this guy is." And like, sure enough, like we go through this little area and open up the door, and it's a hallway, and it's just door after door after door, and they're all practice spaces. We go in, and it looks like this dude clearly has been living in there. Like, it's like the couch that he sleeps on every day, tons and tons of bottles everywhere. And yeah, I just remember, like, once again, we're in the room. I'm just looking at Tom like, I'm like ready to throw down whenever you are. Like, if we have to, like, if this guy tries any shit, we're just gonna knock him out. I was like, plenty of bottles I can grab, just knock him the fuck out with, and like we just get out of here. Spoiler alert: nothing happened. It was totally fine. I think he was like, "You guys want to like smoke some weed?" And I'm like, no, we're good. Like, we got to like go back to work, man. Like, thanks, appreciate it. And then never saw that guy again ever. Like, I don't know why or how, or for whatever reason he came over on that side, because like none of the music guys ever came over there to that area because it was like a weird, kind of like it was like a common area, but for like the industrial section, not for the bands. Like the bands had their own spot.
Common area, dude.
Oh, it was massive.
It was weird. It was like a weird thing, man.
It was cool. And then eventually we got to know, because like before you went into that hallway to go to the practice spaces, there was another section of rooms that belonged to this dude, Tony. I can't remember his last name, but he was a drummer and he used to give lessons out of there. And he had this massive room because I think he was like tight with the dude that owned the building at the time or something like that. So he had this massive room that he was paying next to nothing. Super fucking cool dude. He would always like dip off for like a month or two at a time to do what do you call it, like cruise gigs and stuff like that. And that's where he made his bread and butter. And it was funny, we were talking one time because he knew I was a bass player, and of course brought up like Victor Wooten. He's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I'm tight with the Wootens." He's like, "I'm good friends with the family." I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And I was like, "I wish I had like worked in some angle to be like, let me meet this motherfucker." Like, come on.
Yeah.
But he was super cool.
I work with a guy now who like grew up with Steve Vai.
No
and,
shit.
Like, he went on like a year-long like retreat with Steve Vai to like learn guitar and learn mindfulness, and now he like writes books about it, and he's got a podcast, but it's like part about work, part about music. But he's like literally family friends with Steve Vai.
No shit. That's awesome.
Wow. And he's like crazy talented guitarist.
Huh.
Jason's camera is off.
Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. so what's with the new place? Your new shop? Because like, so I went there to get that dresser done, and there's like cars on the third floor, and like
it's a very weird spot for sure. Yeah.
How do you even get a car up on the third floor?
The elevator.
Oh yeah, duh.
So because like I mean, I think most of our listeners probably don't know, but that building was one of 4 buildings, I believe, that belonged to the Jackson Storage Company. And they were just a basic storage company like you would see like anywhere nowadays. And that was back in like the 60s, I believe, 50s, 60s. And eventually that building got sold to a car dealership. And so that's when they installed a brand new gigantic elevator, which is big enough to pick up cars. Even my van, the E350, fits in this thing. And that's why you're able to bring cars in and out. So it worked out. So eventually, the dude that does engine repair and stuff like that is down there and stores cars upstairs and all over and in the basement and whatnot. And there's a cabinet maker in there, and then there's us, furniture restoration. It's pretty funny.
And you guys shot a music video in there?
I've shot a few music videos in there now.
Yeah,
so like it's such an interesting spot. Breaking Through did one that never saw the light of day. Baron Air guys started one in there that didn't get finished yet. And then Warforged shot a good chunk of stuff in there, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, my band, we shot a lot of shit out there.
Where'd you guys shoot in there? Like, how did that go down?
We shot on was it the fourth floor? Yeah, it was Bill's floor.
Yeah, outside my shop.
We rented some lights. My singer is like a videographer, photographer, so he knows a lot about he'll do our music videos for us usually, and we just rented that out. I think there were some external shots too. Like we had some of the guys go in weird ass parts of the building that were like really dark and creepy looking. Just pretty much like using it to any resource we could, kind of. But it was cool. It's hard. It's like not comfortable playing inside like a shop, and it was in the winter when we shot it, so it was like cold as fuck in there.
Although I think that would have been better to do in the cold than in the heat. Like if you were there in the summer,
way better.
Dude, you guys would be like, I'm out. Suck. Like we don't need a video that bad.
Dude, I would be bitching so much.
Yeah. I feel like that building though, Bill, like, I mean, I'll probably sound like, at the risk of sounding like a total wimp on this recorded here. I bet that building is scary as hell at night.
It's terrifying.
It seems too creepy, man. Like
I walk really fast when those lights turn off.
Scary. Yeah.
If I had to turn the lights off, I would be running through the building.
Gunning it. Well, it's worse now because we have like a local shop cat that comes by from time to time. And so if it's like pitch black in there, you'll hear him like lurking around. You're like, what the fuck is that? It's just like, oh no, it's just our fat cat.
Multiple floors, right? And like, it's I don't know. I was only there twice, but it was like so weird to navigate. It was crazy.
It's a little disorienting the first time you're there. It takes a couple it's so funny when I'm walking people around the building, or they always go in like wrong directions. Like it's like the hotel from The Shining. Yeah, nothing adds up. Windows aren't where they're supposed to be. You know.
Yeah, dude.
It's creepy, man. I don't know how you work in there. It's wild.
Well, sweet.
Any last words for Brockhampton?
I got none other than listen to it. Like all these records.
Good records, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Very cool picks.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys gonna do this like? So how are you gonna fit this in with your other ones, right? Because you've got other ones that are like a series, isn't that? Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a continuing series we'll do, and we're just gonna rotate with them every other 2 weeks. So we'll do like a music episode, and then there'll be 2 just regular episodes, and then another music one, and then 2 regular episodes, and then another one. That's what we're gonna try, at least for now.
Yeah, and then we have 3 like genre specific ones. So it's new metal, death metal, and metalcore. And then this was, it was funny because you messaged me about, we were talking music, and I was like, oh man, it'd be fun. It's like if we can get other friends on and do like whatever we want, because those 3 genres are very specific, and it's honestly it's not very it's not just what we do. Me and Jason just don't listen to that. And if you listen to our episodes, you'll hear us talking about so much other stuff that's not metal, which is pretty funny. And so this is just a chance for us to talk about other stuff that's not necessarily those 3 specific things. So yeah, it was awesome you were able to do this one for the first one. So it was really cool. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks, man.
This is a lot of fun, man. I appreciate you guys letting me come out here and shoot the shit for a little bit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Absolutely.
I wish we could do it in person, though, bro, man. It's been so long since we caught up.
I know.
Dude, we'll do it again. Yeah, these stories are awesome to hear. We should just have you on for a normal episode, too. That would be really cool.
That'd be fun, yeah. We got to see if we could track down some of these old bands and then like hit them up like during the show.
Now we're talking. I feel people are up to. I'm still Facebook friends with a lot of them. I just don't like reach out.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I. It's funny. Like I've befriended a couple dudes from that era that I haven't really seen much at all, because like a lot of them just aren't playing anymore. you know, and it happens.
It happens. I feel like you're disclaiming that because I'm one of those dudes. You know,
it just happens. Yeah, one of our fallen
funny.
brothers.
But no, it's true, man. It's like college is a great band killer. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
That's why I went to community college.
There you go.
Keep the band alive. That's dedication.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Killed it. Awesome.
But cool. Shall we
Sweet.
start wrapping up here?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So yeah, Sky, is there anything you want to plug? Anything people should check out?
Oh, sheesh. Check out these albums. Actually, check out my wife's cousin. Just opened a tattoo shop, Lost Lagoon Tattoo.
Cool.
Cool.
Near Woodstock, but it's worth
Okay.
the drive if you're in Chicago.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Her cousin Steve is like crazy talented artist, man. Crazy
Awesome.
talented. So if you're looking for some ink, Lost Lagoon, they opened up like literally the day before all the announcements came out with COVID.
Oh
wow.
man, that's rough.
And he's actually doing pretty well, it sounds like, but you
Cool,
know,
good.
if you guys are looking for him, you know, you won't go wrong with Steve. He's really good. And you'd support their new shop, so check him out.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Hell
That sounds
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Jason, what about you?
Oh, I got nothing. I'm gonna plug you, dude. Bill Fay. Check him out on Nothing's for No One. Roman Ring. Something is waiting. And dude, wherever else you want to check him out on.
There you go. I'm on all platforms.
Yeah, dude, I'm plugging you.
I like that.
But yeah, that's it. I got nothing.
I was going to plug, but it looks like it's doing super well. So in Forest Park, there's a local ice cream place called the Brown Cow. They recently set up a GoFundMe. Yesterday they set this thing up, and for a goal of $50,000 to help them be able to make ice cream in-house. Apparently, the last I checked, they were at like 42,000. They almost had the goal in less than 24 hours, which is fucking insane. Yeah. So
That's
the
wild.
people have spoken. They love ice cream. So I was gonna like try to plug that, but I think they're gonna reach their goal by the time this episode's out. So if anything, go check out Brown Cow.
They're over their goal. $52,000 raised in
Holy
less than
shit.
24 hours.
That's crazy. Good for them, man. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's totally awesome. Like, good small biz. 967 donors put down enough money.
That
so
is
they could finish
awesome.
the business.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Way to go, people.
There's your good news for the day.
Love it. Awesome.
Cool. Well, Sky, thank you so much for doing this episode, man. It was great to have you on and catch up. So it was awesome.
Yeah. Good times. Anytime, gents. It was a blast.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely going to have you back on again. We can tell some more old war stories.
A whole bunch of them. Many we didn't get to.
Oh, I know. Sounds good. All right. Well, we'll see you later. Sweet. Get some sleep. And, be safe out there.
All right. See you, man.
See you, dudes.
Bye. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. It was our first time doing the freestyle genre. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, if this is something you want to join in and participate, please hit us a message and we'll do it. And like I said, anything goes with this. It's not genre specific. So any album you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. We'll listen to it. Whether we like it or not, that's up to us. But we'll do it. And thank you guys as always. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Drop us a like, comment, anything. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what we're doing right. And that's about it. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye.